We don't know Allah, know God, and know ourselves. We don't know one another. Look, when I see you, I know who I'm looking at. There's not one of you in this place that I don't love. I may never have met you before, but when I see you, I know who I'm looking at. And I know that I have a duty by you. And you will never find me disrespecting any of you because I know who you are. It makes no difference how young or how old. You are from Allah. Listen now. And therefore, the essence of you is Him. I'm going to say that again. You are from Allah. Therefore, the essence of you is Him. So you are not only able to become a human being, but if you evolve properly, you can become an expression of, a manifestation of the divine characteristics of God Himself. Listen. So the Bible says, how can you love God whom you have never seen and hate your brother whom you see every day? Let's not just say it, let's understand it more. Listen, how can you love God whom you've never seen and hate your brother whom you see every day? Now the principal words in this is God and brother. And you have love and hate. Two opposites. But God and brother are not opposite. God and brother are similar, but you love one that you've never seen and hate the other whom you see every day. Well, now what Allah is saying to us is when you hate your brother, in whom is the essence of God, you are hating God. So the question is asked, how can you love God whom you've never seen and hate your brother in whom God is? And you see Him every day. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, every time I see a black man, I'm looking at God.
You are now tuned in to the Respect for Life radio broadcast with your host, Brother Keith Muhammad. This program is dedicated to the unity and upliftment of the Black community. Our goal is to change the world, one mind at a time.
Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome everyone once again to the Respect for Life radio broadcast, coming to you live via cmpradio.net. I'm your host, Brother Keith Muhammad. Thankful and grateful once again for the opportunity to come across the sacred, we always said airways, but now the internet that gives us access to the ears, to the minds, and even the hearts of those who are tuned in. We certainly don't take that lightly. We are thankful and grateful for our good brother, Brother Jean-Pierre, the founder, CEO, visionary of cmpradio.net, a vision that he worked on and brought into reality to cultivate mature positivity in the city of Chester, specifically Delaware County in general, but really via the internet, we can reach all over the world, a worthy cause to be able to cultivate in the people, and specifically Black people, a mature positivity that we can begin to make real change in our community and get rid of the crab in the barrel mindset that makes progress real difficult amongst us in our communities. So we thank our good brother. We thank all the staff and members of cmpradio.net. And as we get ready to go into our topic, we have a special guest today. We'll bring him on shortly. But I want to say, as we've been saying for the last several weeks, make sure you go to the page, like the page, follow the page. Make sure, I didn't get to check today to see where we are in the count to 10,000, but we have to make sure no later than the next week or so we reach that goal of 10,000 followers on Facebook to help the radio station grow and mature so they can bring the positive messages and do the work in the community that it is designed and that our good brother and those who are with him desire to do. So thank you all, those who are watching live and those who will watch it recording. Make sure you tune in, or pardon me, make sure you follow the page. As we always do on Respect for Life, of course, our mantra is whoever prescribes the diameter of our thinking controls the circumference of our activities. And it's very important that we just don't operate unconscious. We just don't go through our daily routine not giving real thought to having some kind of agenda or plan for our personal lives, our family life, and our community life. Too many of us are operating like by remote control. People have programmed. This system is designed to program thought. They have worked with billions of dollars to develop social engineering. They have worked in their medical, in their religious, in their educational fields to really produce outcomes that we may think are random, but they're by design. It's not an accident. It's not random that the masses of the people, I don't care what color you see them or what color they are in a lower economic and social status. 85% of the people, you have a rich clique that controls the masses. And it's certainly not an accident that the Black communities all over America, no matter where you go, East Coast to West Coast, North to South, you find the same consistent condition that is not random, it's not happenstance, it's not by chance, but it's by design. So if we have been put in a condition by design, if we have had a system to develop and spend billions of dollars to produce mindsets, to control or prescribe a diameter of thought, that's why free thinkers always get in trouble in school. Free thinkers and real smart people usually have behavioral problems, quote unquote, as they say, in school, because it's boring and they're not with the programming they're trying to put into us. But I'm saying all that to say, as adults and as those who are hopefully coming alive and waking up, that we will choose our own prescription, that we will write our own prescription and not just fall victim to the social conditioning, the social programming, the social engineering that is taking place on a daily basis. The news media, the corporate interests, the educational system, the economic system, and yes, even the religious system all play a part in producing the outcomes we see in the world today. But it's time to take charge of our own mind, free our mind from the programming, and become the men and women that we were born to be, that we can develop and manifest the gifts and qualities that God has placed in us. So the Final Call News Hour, the Final Call News segment, pardon me, we always like to start here with an article from the current edition of the Final Call. I always tell you, if you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to try to hold that up on my iPad. That's the headline of the current edition of the Final Call: stool pigeons, sellouts, and ops. We hear those terms a lot. And you and I, of course, we're conditioned to have a certain mindset, rightfully so, about those who are labeled stool pigeons, sellouts, and ops. But more so than being labeled that, when we find out that people are in fact that, then there's certainly a mindset that we should have toward these types of persons. But in the current edition of the Final Call, this headline is really the headline that's dealing with an article that's surrounding the movie that is out, that came out last Friday, that many of us may have seen. Some of us may not have seen it, but it's on HBO Max, and I believe it's in theaters in some places around the country where people still go to movies. Was surrounding the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. Judas and the Black Messiah is dealing with the subject of stool pigeons, sellouts, and ops. And if you saw the movie, you understand what we're saying and what the Final Call headline is referring to. So I just want to do a quick a read from the article on the movie and talk a little bit about what the movie should be bringing to the forefront of our minds, because it deals with the assassination, the murder of our great brother from the Black Panther Party in Chicago, Fred Hampton. So I'm going to read from the article here. Bear with me. I think I left my glasses at the office, so I may struggle a little bit, but help or be patient with your brother. But this article in the Final Call is written by contributing writer J.S. Adams. All right. And in this article, it starts off saying the new movie Judas and the Black Messiah. How many of you that are watching has seen this movie? Let me know if you saw it, and you can write in the comments what you thought about it. All right. The new movie Judas and the Black Messiah follows the tragic story of Fred Hampton of the Black Panther Party and how the FBI used a fellow black man named William O'Neal to aid in his assassination. Fred Hampton, a young black revolutionary, was targeted. Judas and the Black Messiah has become more than just a biographical drama, but a launching pad for a deeper look at Black history and really surveillance in America. So Judas and the Black Messiah is dealing with the story of a great young brother. If you, as we're going to read further, only 21 years old, and he was doing a work that some of us, most of us in 30, 40, 50, 60 years have yet to approach anything on the level that our great brother and others like him were doing in the very turbulent times in the 1960s and even a little before that. It says the movie follows true events of the 1960s surrounding Mr. Hampton, chairman of the Illinois Black chapter of the Black Panther Party and deputy chairman of the National Panther Party, as he became more known and influential throughout the community. And he was played by a great brother, Daniel Kaluuya, who also starred in the movie Get Out. Y'all remember him in that movie. He was a part of that movie. And Mr. Hampton, of course, along with the other Panthers, started many programs across the nation. We know Huey P. Newton, the national chairman of the Black Panther Party, and his history. But it goes on to say there was a gentleman by the name of William O'Neal. That's his real name. That's a real person who was a part of the party. He's played by Lakeith Stanfield, who was also in Get Out. If y'all remember him, he played a similar role in Get Out, who the brother that was with the white woman, and you know, he had the straw hat on, I believe, or something like that in the movie Get Out. But he plays this role of an FBI agent. And if you saw the movie, and even if you didn't, he starts off being a thief. He's robbing people, he's impersonating an officer, an FBI agent, and he does that in order to steal cars. And he got caught. And then once you get caught, this is how they work. This is how they get stool pigeons, sellouts, and ops. Because once you get compromised and you're facing time, and this is how you get people snitching, because once they have you, then they can threaten you. They can make deals, cut deals with you. And oftentimes those who are caught in this position, I'm gonna spoil it, Sister Shadi. I'm sorry, I didn't want to spoil the movie, but it's not like a cliffhanger. So, but he is known from the beginning that he's an agent. So I'm not spoiling. It's worth watching just for the historical context and seeing how our young people were working in that time. But anyway, Mr. William O'Neal, he was recruited by the FBI to infiltrate the chapter and provide information on its dealings. And this is a commentary from a professor now talking about this gentleman, William O'Neal. He says, there was suspicion about William O'Neal, said Professor Winbush, director of the Institute of Urban Research. We talked to people who were very suspicious of this guy. He was always trying to incite them to do big things, you know, to kill cops and stuff like that. So he's trying to trap him, trying to set him up. One scene, he was wearing a wire. It says the FBI weaved its way, Mr. O'Neal cooperated in the FBI's COINTELPRO operation created by J. Edgar Hoover. Many of us have heard of COINTELPRO, originated by J. Edgar Hoover. This is where and this is why the title of the movie is what it is. J. Edgar Hoover desired to stop the rise of a Black Messiah. And it's very interesting they use that language. We don't have time to go into it, but they wanted to stop anybody who could galvanize the masses of the people and who had a revolutionary, really self-determination, radical agenda, not depending on white people, but doing something for self in essence. It talks about the FBI weaving its way into various organizations. It wasn't just the Black Panther Party. Fred Hampton, who was 21, it goes on to say, and I'm gonna finish up reading this because I want to get to our guest. I'm gonna ask him to give a few comments on this as well in a few moments. But here it says, Mr. Hampton was only 21 years old at the time of his tragic killing. 21. Fred Hampton was 21. Let that sink in. Fred Hampton was 21. A 21-year-old became the chairman of the Black Panther Party, fed families, led a revolution, and united rival gangs in Chicago, and gave an entire group of people hope. Our government was scared of and assassinated a 21-year-old, one Twitter user wrote in response to the movie. So 21 years old, and we're talking about him decades later because of what he committed himself to in a short period of time, was able to make an impact. Unfortunately, the story of Mr. Hampton is not the first of its kind. The FBI has infiltrated many Black organizations, including the NAACP, the Nation of Islam, and has links of harassment, suppression, and demise of Black leaders. But this history of Black betraying their own by providing information to whites at the head of the table is old history. Then it goes over various slave revolts where Black people told. It goes all the way back to Marcus Garvey and how the first FBI agent, his name was Mr. Wormley. Ironically, that's a good name for him. James Wormley Jones infiltrated Mr. Garvey's Universal Negro Improvement Association. The information he provided to the Bureau led to the Garvey arrest of mail fraud charges in January 1922. Goes on to talk about Dr. King, the gentleman who worked and followed Dr. King as a photographer. He was an FBI agent. Talks about the man who was given mouth to mouth to Malcolm X, Eugene Roberts, a police officer. It is interesting, after he helped to murder Malcolm X, he went on in New York to help found the chapter of the Black Panther Party after he worked to kill Malcolm X. And he continued spying for the police department. He was promoted to detective and retired from the NYPD. Stool pigeons, sellouts, and ops have always been amongst us. And now today, we can't think that that was just old news. They are consistent in their being on watch. J. Edgar Hoover is gone, but the mind of J. Edgar Hoover didn't start with him, and it continues on to this day because they want to stop the rise of a Black Messiah but I'm here to say it's too late. They can't do it. And they close the article by saying there needs to be a connection of generations to help inform this generation that's coming up now. She said, we come up with solutions for accountability, solutions for protection, solutions for defense. I don't have the answer, but I think we need a group of people to get together and start doing something or some of that and educating the community so that we can recognize these people, not after they dead and gone and did their work, but we need to identify them at the moment so that we can deal with them effectively. And it references in 2017 how the FBI identified what they call Black identity extremists. And they targeted them and began operating just like they were in the 60s, in the 50s, and throughout our sojourn here in America. But get the latest Final Call, read the article entirely, and watch the movie. It's worth the watch. We could talk a lot about it, but I don't want to ramble on because, as we stated, we do have a guest, and I'm going to ask his opinion on this just in general. I'm sure he has some thoughts on it, but we want to go into our topic, dealing with health and fitness, dealing with health and well-being. And as we talked about several months ago on one of our shows, health is the real wealth. Everybody trying to secure a bag, everybody trying to come up, everybody trying to make money, and that's all well and good. But no matter how much money you have, no matter how much fame you have, no matter what it is you may be able to accomplish in life, if you don't have good health, you can enjoy it. So, oh, he's not on yet. Okay. So we're waiting on our good brother. I don't know. I checked my phone, see if he texts me, but he'll be on with us soon. So I can go on and just give a few thoughts on this subject. Now, when you look at it, we have to identify or really think about it. Why is there a consistent pattern amongst us that we always have some willing to take money, to take a lesser sentence or whatever it may be, not only to get out of trouble themselves, but it takes a heck of a type of person, and I use that language loosely, stool pigeon, rat, however you want to term them. It's one thing if you, and this is not good as well, if you were snitch, you were involved in something, you get caught, it was a group of y'all, you tell on the people you were with, you were snitch, you a low down person based on what you accepted to do in your life as far as that's concerned. But when you're willing to compromise your integrity, or you're willing to sell out not just another person, but the hopes and aspirations of an entire people. See, when you work to undermine somebody like Dr. King, Marcus Garvey, Fred Hampton, members of the Nation of Islam, Malcolm X, whoever it may be, when you're willing to work with your enemy and you're willing to take a small pittance or price to stop the rise of your entire people, you lower than a worm. See, and this has happened and it continues to happen. And I'm thankful on several occasions, those gangs, some that are gang members in Chicago specifically, and others around the nation who have been caught in doing things that may be illegal. There has been several occasions where the FBI and the government has approached people who get caught in those type of circumstances, then they're willing to take a lesser charge. But there is some brothers who won't do that because they wanted, this one brother got caught doing something. They said, if you just tell and say that Farrakhan told you to do this, then we'll let you off. We'll give you a lighter sentence or whatever it may be. They had gang members out there saying that they wanted gang members in Chicago to say the minister was behind, and they had integrity. They wouldn't do it. So anyway, I think our brother may be on at this time. I don't want to delay anymore. He has a lot to share with us from his specific field and profession. So I want to bring on a good brother, a helper of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in the city of Chester, born and raised in Chester. Many of you may know him, and he's a good brother who has a lot to offer us in more than one area. He's a helper. He's not on yet. Maybe we're going to have the right link. He's saying he's on. So he texted me and said he's on. So I don't know if we have the wrong link or something didn't happen. Maybe we can resend the link to him so that we make sure he gets on the right link. So Brother Elijah, just check your email and see if you grab a new link so that we can get you on as soon as possible. But anyway, as I begin, okay, they just sent it out again. As I begin to introduce our brother Elijah Kareem, he's Sister Khadijah, lower than the worm. It's, you know, worms have a purpose. Worms really are not really low. They're great creatures when you understand what they do for the soil. They help to prepare it, help to cleanse it, help to make it ready for planting crops. So I can't even disrespect a worm like that because they're one of Allah's creatures who do a great work to help us. So they're definitely lower than the worm because a worm is much higher on the scale than them. But as I started to say, our good brother, Brother Elijah Kareem, he's a helper of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He helps me in the city of Chester in the ministry, but he's also the owner and operator of Supreme Fitness. He's a certified fitness trainer, and he's working towards some other certifications. So with no further delay, I want to add our brother to the broadcast so we can talk to our good brother and he can share what he has to share with us. I'm Alaikum, Soldier.
Wa alaikum salam, sir. Sorry about that little technical difficulty, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's fine. Praise be to Allah. Well, brother, welcome to Respect for Life broadcast. I'm thankful and grateful you agreed to be a part of the program. We talked about it a little while ago, and finally we're able to get you on for the first time. But I know you have so much to share that we can not make it just a one-time thing, but you were able to share much of what you're studying and learning from your work that you're engaged in. So if you want to share a few things, you can just let us know. I don't know if I said the certification right, and what you told me the other day, you're working toward another thing. So just introduce yourself and let them know about your business and what it is you do.
All praise due to Allah. First, thank you for having me on, brother. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Yes, sir. But I'd be wrong if I didn't start off in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, who raised up the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who's left with us the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in our midst for guidance. Not to make that what it's about, but I have to bear witness to, you know, those who made me what I am and blessed me to still be here. But first, I'm a certified personal trainer. Currently, I am employed at LA Fitness, but I'm working, as you say, by myself to go private. And I'm also taking up right now strength training to be a strength coach. Strength and conditioning. The difference is a personal trainer is, you know, deals with overall health, general population. Certified strength coach is more with sports.
Okay.
So it goes into a more advanced concepts, so whereas I'll be able to train athletes.
All right.
So then once I get this certification, I'll be able to train basically anybody, no matter what they're trying to do.
All right. So you can apply. I know LeBron got his trainer already. He working out, but maybe Bronny Jr. You can break your way in there and get that.
Inshallah,
Yes,
inshallah, I definitely can, because I mean, if that's the goal, you know.
Yes,
it's funny because one of my clients, she has a trainer, and she's training Brandon Graham and the brother from Chester, the one who just won the slam dunk contest. So he's training him now. And I'm like, hey man, brother, I'm from Chester. You know, we got trainers in Chester. You know, we got to keep the money in house.
Absolutely.
Yes,
praise be to Allah. So we're a little behind schedule, so I want to get in some questions, and we may have some people that's watching and that have questions after we start our conversation. But the first thing I wanted to ask you was, when did you become interested, or did you know that you wanted to pursue this area and make it something that it was a profession? And were you always interested in fitness? Was it a certain point that you became really focused and interested and decided I'm gonna go ahead and do this?
The crazy part is I had said I was going to do it. I was in jail actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of them people in jail. You know, I was, if you've ever been, not saying you've ever been in jail, but those who've been incarcerated before, you know, you got those brothers who work out. And I was one of those, you know, growing up, you know, my pops always told us, you got to be in shape, you know.
Right.
So being that, and it was a white boy. He was working out. He was asking me some questions. And he said, what, you a personal trainer in the world? And knowing that the lifestyle I was living wasn't a career,
right.
I said, you know what? You know, it made me think about something my mom told me when I was young, a couple years ago, right before I turned myself in, when she seen me struggling. She said, whatever you love to do and that you'll get paid to do, that you would do, even if you didn't get paid to do it, that's how you find your career.
Exactly.
And when he said that, I thought about that, and I said, I'm going to pursue this when I get home. That was 2006. I came home. I ain't go, you know, it was other circumstances and everything. I didn't go straight to it, but after I came under the minister, you know, those things came back to me over in time, you know. So that's when
Allah's the best planner.
Yes.
So when it comes to health and fitness, what are some common misperceptions people may have, or mistakes people make when they say, you know, we just came out of the New Year's? You know, everybody got New Year's resolutions. I'm gonna get in shape. I'm gonna get myself fit, and these type of things. Are there some mistakes or misconceptions some people may have that you can tell us about, that maybe, you know, I'm about to get on that journey again myself? You know, I'm recovering from a broken ankle and a year of COVID seclusion where I didn't put on some pounds. So
right.
Get back on this ankle again. I'm on a mission, you know. But anyway, anything you can help us out with that may be some common things that people make mistakes with or misperceive.
First common thing, honestly, I think most people assume that fitness and health are synonymous, that they are one and the same. I say that because a lot of times people see me say, "Oh, you nice and skinny, you nice and fit and healthy." You don't know. In order to know if I'm really healthy, I would have to go through some tests to see if I'm really, you know, because honestly, before I even became a trainer, I went through this once. I thought that because I was all nice in shape, I went and they took my blood lipids, my blood sugar was high, my bad cholesterol was high, but I was looking good, you know. So health and fitness are not the same thing. You have health deals with psychological, not just physical. It deals with physical as well. It deals with psychological. It also deals with social and even your environmental. You know, they coined the phrase later, like in the late 70s, early 80s, they call it wellness. But just to keep it simple, health and wealth is, health and fitness is not the same. So when you're dealing with health, you're dealing with the whole spectrum. You're dealing with your, like I say, your psychological, your physical, even your social, your family background, you know. So a lot of times, you know, the gym is a place where you go and you can get healthy, where you can get your mind off of things. A lot of people, you know, they go there to get their minds off of things because they're letting off certain hormones, you know, that or endorphins and stuff that will make them feel good.
Right.
You know, it helps them relieve stress, even in fitness. Now, when you're dealing with fitness, there are certain components with fitness itself. There's health-related components, and then there's performance-related components. So when you're dealing with health components, the main thing you're talking about is cardiorespiratory. Cardiorespiratory deals with your heart, your lungs, and everything, you know, that's everything that's going to get that oxygen, that blood, and all those nutrients to your muscles, dealing with your veins, your vascular system, all of that is cardiorespiratory. So that's the main thing you want to work on. Like, you know, a lot of clients come in, I say, first thing we got to do is work on your cardio. You got to get your heart right, because if you start going too hard, you can hurt yourself. You know, if your heart is not shaped up. So you have the cardiorespiratory, you have muscular fitness, which is muscular strength and muscular endurance.
Yes, sir.
Right? Because you can be strong but can't endure. You can endure but not be strong. So you have cardiorespiratory, muscle strength, muscle endurance, and then you have body composition. Right? Deals with, you know, BMI. A lot of everybody know about the BMI, body mass index, the ratio between weight and your size. And the last thing that people don't understand is part of your health is flexibility. A lot of us, we're not flexible enough, and that causes problems. So a lot of times we think that we strain the muscle. Really, you strain the muscle not because you did something wrong, because the muscle is tight. So you don't have, there's muscle balances, and you see a lot of time football players, they pull them hamstrings,
right?
Because either that quad is over dominant, or sometimes the quad is over dominant, or their hamstring. Their hamstring is responsible for slowing them down. So a lot of times muscle imbalance is a very big thing that a lot of times most people need, because a lot of people know pretty much the workouts. Right. They really need to know which muscle, because you might have somebody who could bench a lot, but they can't do a pull-up.
Right.
Talking
to me. Go ahead.
So a lot of times we have to deal with muscle imbalances, and most people I deal with, they want what they want, not necessarily what they need for the most part.
All right.
Yes. Right. But and performance is just simple things like speed, power, agility, balance, coordination, and all that stuff. That's the stuff that the strength coach really goes into in depth with, on how to really improve those things without even improving your weights. You know what I mean? So you can still stay the same size but get faster and stronger, and other aspects like that. That's the nervous system. That deals with the nervous system a whole lot.
Okay, that'd be like fast twitch and being able.
Yeah. Well, actually, fast twitch and everything deals with
your muscles.
Both. Yeah, it deals with both. Slow twitch, fast twitch, and you have different. They help you with how you oxidize, use energy, and stuff like that. Okay. It does deal with power and explosion. So you have somebody like LeBron who's more of a fast twitch. He's more fast twitch dominant, even though you can manipulate the body. The body's a machine that you can manipulate.
Okay. Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, beloved. The next question, and those that are watching, I know my wife said she had a question. I forget what it was, so she can type it in there, and hopefully we can get into it. How important is diet and nutrition to overall fitness and health?
It's extremely important. It's extremely important. When you're dealing with diet is not just it's also about. The diet is basically the way you eat, right? So you're dealing with diet and nutrition. Nutrition is what you eat. It might not be nutritious, but diet is the way you eat. Okay. So a lot of times we often we overeat. Like, okay, you might eat bad, go to the gym and realize you can't lift the same amount that you lifted the last time you was in here. It's because your diet. You ate something that is not allowing you to optimize yourself, your power, your strength. So diet is very important. Diet is, some people say most, and the beautiful thing about this is you'll have so many different specialists and experts say different things, and they all back it with science, but diet is very important. You have to eat. You have to eat, and you have to eat properly, especially with your health, because health is wealth, like you got up there. Health is very important. What we eat, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, what we eat keeps us here, what we eat takes us out of here, right? So when you have, and even in the health related aspect, when we was dealing with health earlier, the difference between health and fitness, scientists have proven that what you eat and how often you eat.
Right.
When you eat. Yes, when you eat. When you eat, I was like, go to the page 57 on book 1. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad talks about how the brain and digestive tract have much in common with one another. What affects one affects the other. Right? And I was looking up, like you said, it's so much that you could bring up a whole bunch, but what you eat affects your thoughts. There's hormones that we have that they have found. The one hormone I was talking about last time earlier, we was talking about ghrelin, but they found that helps with your mood, that helps with your memory and cognitive function. So it's a lot more studying they have to do, but they have proven that when you don't overeat, when you don't eat so much, they call it a hunger hormone because it's in your gastrointestinal system, right? But they have used that to show in mice how it improves their cognitive function. right? And all other aspects of their life that they're still looking into. This was a study done in 2018. 2018 by the it's in the Chorus article. I read that off the Chorus article. They done that in 2018, but it's very in deep. But I don't want to go too deep into that. But what we eat will keep us here, and what we eat can change our mood. And how often we eat will change our mood and give us a better standard of life, because that's part of health.
Absolutely. All right. See, the next question I have here. If you could only do one exercise, what would you recommend that be and why?
One exercise is reported Master Fard Muhammad said that walking is the best exercise.
Yes, sir.
Walking is the best exercise. I have found when you deal with bioenergetics, let me see. I want to bring something up real fast if I can. You say they have found that walking, you can benefit from walking in every aspect of. If you want to build muscle, you want to build strength, you can use walking as an aspect. Now, how do you do that? They have something you call farmer carries, where you take heavy weight and you walk up with proper posture and you just walk with the heavy weight, right? That's how you can help build strength, right? Okay. And help build mass. There's other ways that you can carry. You can carry it like you're carrying groceries. You can pick it up. But walking, if you're trying to lose weight, I know there's a lot of people. I know brother was telling me he had knee problems. And he was out soldier one time. And he's saying he couldn't basically do a lot of jumping. But walking, they have found that I really want to, if say I can go to share screen. They have found that walking. Okay. I'm not gonna do it because I'm not sorry, but I'm not computer savvy.
Okay. I think you might have to do it when you first came on in the backstage. Okay. On there, but go ahead. We can work.
Well, they have found that. They found that walking. I'm gonna have to pull up on the note. It was a Dr. Meunier and Pooh. Dr. Meunier and Pooh in 1968. They did a graph with power walkers. And they found that when you walk over 5 miles per hour, you're burning more energy. It's more oxygen consuming than running at that lower pace. Why is that important? It's important because it's not going to be the repetitive force of you running, jumping, going back and forth. The difference, what separates walking and running is actually double limb support. Because when you walk, you're having both of your feet are coming up. So you can walk at a fast pace. When you walk at a fast pace, you're going to burn and use more oxygen than you would if you was jogging at that same pace. But yet you will spare your knees because you're not going to be running and jumping and hopping. So those who are losing weight is one of the biggest things that most Americans want to do.
Exactly.
Right? And a lot of people don't want to run. Running is really bad because first and foremost, if you're trying to lose weight, you're already putting extra weight on your knees to begin with.
Right. The joints is.
And then you don't want to run on that weight because you're just going to make it worse. So I would suggest that you can walk at a very nice, fast pace. You can even add small weights in your hand. That's why you see people walking with those weights in their hand. Right. What they're doing is they're adding more resistance, even though it's not much. It's going to help them burn more calories. But like I say, if you want to just, you want to look good, you want to get stronger or strength, take heavy weights, walk around with them. Proper posture, you help your postural muscles with your inner units, and you can still build strength.
All right. So walking, and just that take me back to what you said about performance versus I forget the other thing you mentioned. Maybe it was fitness or health related. Health related and health related, performance related. Yes, sir. So definitely, I just thinking of what you said. When it comes to performance, you're gonna need to do some other things if you're trying to get to certain performance level. But if you're talking about health, talking about losing weight, talking about preserving your knee, because I played a lot of basketball, football coming up, and my knees and my ankles and everything tell me every time I do things, But that's the kind of thing, I was talking to Brother Jabril one day and I was telling him, he was recovering from an injury. And I was like, you just got it. I up to walking is the best exercise. And I said the body is a beautiful machine, but it ain't designed to be doing, LeBron James type stuff for 30 years, 20 years, running, jumping, doing all the pounding. As you say, eventually the joints and things start to wear. But I'm sure diet and nutrition help with that as well, and preserving those joints and helping to reduce the wear and tear. All right.
Can I put this one thing? I don't want people to get mixed up. When you start walking and running at that same pace, they had 8 kilometers. Exactly. Basically, every kilometer is about 0.6 miles when you're walking. So when you get to a certain pace, that's why I want to say when you get to a certain speed,
right,
running will burn more.
Right.
But you're not dealing with a health-related thing. Then you start dealing with performance. And you're increasing the performance. And if you're not in a certain health, you can hurt yourself actually, right? So you have to get basically performance is built upon your health.
Okay.
Right? So you have to get your health perform. You have to get to a certain level when it comes to health before you can even start to train on your performance.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
And that's why they tell you to see your doctor before you start working out, right?
Exactly.
Trying to help you and take that blood test, make sure you're not suffering from something. You start working out and you be out of here. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. Is there an optimum time to work out? Is there a better time? Some worse than others? You anything on that?
Dealing with okay, from what I read about that, they say there's no solid there's no real solid data, they say, for optimal time. But when I look up the benefits, the benefits of one outweighs the other. The other one only, working out in the afternoon is best because your body temperature is up at that time, so you don't have to warm up as fast. And they say that's maximum strength time, right? Maybe because you've been active throughout the day. Yeah, in the afternoon. However, I would say that's just 2 to 3, maybe 3 benefits. When you work out in the morning, working out in the morning they showed about 13, 14 different benefits, about 13 different benefits, right? So I just highlighted a few. One of them was healthy eating habits. They showed that when you work out in the morning, they did a study with college students. They didn't even ask them to change their eating habits, but when they worked out, they just somehow they changed their eating habits, right? So that was from one of the morning workouts. Another one was you have increased alertness, right? And another one they talked about, I think they was talking about, that's when they was talking about the ghrelin, that same hormone, that same hunger hormone. You have everything from better focus and improved sleep, right? And there's a lot more benefits. I would say personally, if I had to choose, I would always say working out in the morning from someone who's worked out in the morning, afternoon, and evening. When you work out in the morning, it sets the tone, right? It sets the tone for the rest of your day. Everything from your blood profile is going to be better. Everything is going to be better when you start off in the morning and you start off your day right. The only thing I will say is because of the way that we have to live today, the best time to work out is the best time that you can work out. Like so whatever's best for you, we all got to deal with we all got to deal from our circumstances, right? And a lot of people say, some person told me, I don't even get a chance to work out that much, from working, training, studying to get to try to be the best that I can be, in the field that I'm in, so.
Yes, sir. So the best time is the time you can do it.
right. The best time is the time that's going to.
If you got a choice, then you might be choose, the morning time or something like that. Yes, sir. But some of us we use that. I ain't got time in the morning, so I ain't gonna work out. But you got a little time in the evening. But yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The thing about this is, we don't. I just want to say we don't need much time. A lot of people think they need a lot of time. You really don't need a lot of time. Unless you playing sport, 30 minutes to get you there and get you going, and you be good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it takes down some of our excuses. I don't have time. half hour, you can get it in.
Yeah. And
Right.
keep you active. You just stay active. The difference between a lot of people think exercise and physical activity is the same. If your doctor tell you have, get some physical activity, you don't got to hit the gym, right? Just be more active. When you got to go somewhere, if they got an elevator, take the steps.
Exactly.
Make things a little harder for yourself. Walk to the store. If you can walk to the store, it's a little bit. Walk to the store. Everything is a little made easier nowadays. So we don't like to go the extra mile. We want everything instant gratification. They just keep your physical activity up. You go walk. That's going to help you. It's going to help build your health, especially if you're just trying to get health.
Mm-hmm. All right. See, we got a question here. My wife, she brought it up. Her and my daughter, when they walking and exercising, said they would get a lot of tingling in their legs, almost like an itching type feeling. Didn't know if you knew or maybe have any insight to what that may be associated with or something. Not just the friction type thing, but just a tingling type, itching type feeling they get.
You might want to take them to Dr. Safia.
Because she had heard you answer something Sister Nicole said, and she was like, "Oh, it was something Sister Nicole put out, and it was on. I think that's on Facebook, and you talked about some water intake." So she was like, she was impressed. So she said, "Well, I'm gonna ask him to see if he can help out or knew anything." But all right.
The thing about that is you can like a tingling. She would know that. I mean, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a pain, like a sharp pain, a tingling, that's different. You make a certain move, you can have a certain muscle pulling on another or something. You might have to tighten up or something, correct. I don't. I can't say a tingling.
Yes, sir. All right. Just in general, your Supreme Fitness service that you're working and developing, what type of I know you say you're working at LA Fitness right now, right, as a trainer?
Yes.
So people that are members there, if they go to the same one, I guess, I don't know if you're limited to one gym or you work at several ones.
I'm not limited to one. Put like I do have private. I have when I was in I had to transfer. After having the two daughters, I had to transfer closer to home.
Right.
But when I was there, I had private clients. I trained private clients. Inside the gym and outside the gym. That's how I'm building my clientele, and pretty much all trainers do the same thing.
Yes.
But I can train. How I train is they have their setup. It's so
right.
It's a little different how I do my setup. Right. Okay. I want to be able to be more hands-on. If I was to train somebody, depends on your level of fitness, right? It's going to depend on what we do. Some people, for example, I have a brother, I'm going to go to his house, and take care of him there.
Okay.
Everybody's not gym built.
Yes, sir.
Some people don't really want to go to the gym, but we can do the gym. If you want to go through LA Fitness, I'm there, but I can travel around, but there's multiple ways to get things done,
Yes,
so I'm always available, but I am available.
Yes, sir. You make it happen. Just another question for some of us, especially those of us in the nation. We strive and eat one meal a day, and some people feel like, well, if you work out, you need to eat more. If you're exercising or have a routine, that one meal is not sufficient. What's your thoughts on that?
That's not true. I mean, it's one meal. What happens? One thing I always tell my clients certain things. I have one who just told me, she just came and told me about how she's happy about one meal. She said how one meal is helping her tone up, right? But if you eat, sometimes it's not how much we eat, is what we eat. So if we eat a nutrient-dense food, if we're eating, especially those of us if I was to train, I'm gonna lie, if I was a trained believer, listen, you ain't gonna tell you about the diet because you already know. We eat how we eat. If we eat the way we're taught, we will be full. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's energy intake need is going to be different, right?
Right.
However, if you regulate your body's a machine. Your body knows how to adjust and make things happen. I'm trying to use the words, so many words that everybody can understand. Your body knows what you, for example, when you start to eat 1 meal a day, a lot of people worry about your metabolism slowing down, right?
Right.
Which is true. Your metabolism does slow down. So people who are trying to put on weight, you working out, your body will slow down. But they have found that the buffer that people who are trying to lose weight, working out will keep your metabolism around the same.
Okay.
So when you work out, right, and if you eating 1 meal a day, your metabolism is going to stay around the same. A lot of times what we think is hunger, or it's an appetite, and it's not really hunger. We're not starving. It's just that we have to let our stomach get used to, eating that 1 meal. Right. Yes, and if we're eating nutrient dense, like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, he was teaching about how to eat 1 meal a day. He said, you eat 1 meal a day, you got to put good food in you. You can't be
put
garbage in you. You know what I mean? Empty calories.
Right. Right. Now you don't have the fuel, the nutrients you need to do what you need.
Right. And you're not going to. I'm not saying because I've done it. Come eat pasta and you're going to be hungry. You're still going to be hungry. But when you eat that bean soup, that wheat bread, and you get that good milk that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about, you be full. I tell him, like, I'm full, because especially with the milk. The milk, I know there's a big controversy with the raw milk, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said we should heat it, which is true. It's still raw. I was just looking up something on that, but how the FDA regulates raw cheeses and stuff, to where as though they heat it to 100 degrees before they sell in the market, but so they don't boil the bad stuff, they keep the good stuff. But there's so many fats in that good milk that it will fill you up. There's so many nutrients in that milk, and that bean soup is so filling. You won't be hungry. I'm not gonna say you won't be, because everybody's different, but you should be cool. You should be content.
Not only will it give you the full feeling, but it gives you the nutrients you need to be able to do with the nutrition. Milk is like, if you study how Allah's creatures work, it's a complete food. When you're a baby, you really don't need nothing but milk from your mother's up to 2 years, so it tells you the kind of content it has as far as nutrition.
Right.
All right. Do we have another question here? Sister Khadijah says, so you can go to any LA Fitness location? I guess she's saying if they wanted to utilize your service.
So Sister Khadijah, she got my number. But like I say, I'm on Booksy.
Booksy, okay.
Booksy. You can book something there, and I get in touch with them there, and we can go from there, because.
So that's Booksy,
BOOKSY. Yeah, BOOKSY. Yeah.
All right. And you're there under Elijah Kareem.
I'm under there under the name that they're gonna pay me under, because I don't know if I'm Elijah. I'm under there for my slave name, because until I'm able to go get everything switched over,
So
remember that
they're looking on Booksy, they're looking for Elijah Whitaker.
Yes, they're looking for Elijah Whitaker.
You want to make sure they go there, make sure they.
But my logo is on there, the Supreme Fitness logo.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, I have a logo. I got that I got a logo, so I have my logo.
That's the brand. You gotta get the brand out
there. Right.
So. Yes, sir. What about a Facebook page, Instagram, anything like that up already for Supreme Fitness?
Supreme Fitness is up already on Facebook. Instagram, I'm working on Instagram. I will have a little more time to work on it. Now my second baby, she's one now. She's walking. Well, she's going to be one, inshallah, the 28th. So she's walking and everything. She's a little more independent. So it's not so much. My 2-year-old, she like 3 babies alone, boy. She.
Hey, look, I know. I'm the twos, something else, brother. But all right, praise be to Allah. So, any fitness? Because I still want to get a few words from you on the stool sellouts and ops. But any closing suggestions on the fitness and health side that you may want to share to help us out?
Everything, you know, one thing, everything I do in my you know, we go to our foundation, and I try to relate everything to our foundation, which is, you know, accept your own and be yourself. When you accept your own, you're accepting your own body type. When we deal about those slow twitch fibers, fast twitch fibers, and then you have those intermediate fibers, they call them. I was just telling, matter of fact, brother Ibrahim, I don't know if he's on here. I was telling him I was going to be on here. I was just telling them, brother, you're built for more power than me. Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to sit here and worry about, my body is built for endurance. So I know I can run for long distance. I accepted my own body type, right? I'm being myself. So a lot of times people go in the gym, I hear clients, especially women, they say, I want to look like her. Your shape might not be like her shape. Right. You know what I'm saying? You got people who literally hurt themselves, and that's why people take a lot of proteins and stuff. And one thing is crazy, because I remember when Dr. Wesley was coming out, he was talking, and I was studying for my personal training. He was talking about when you take these precursors for testosterone, they convert, your body perceives too much testosterone and converts it to estrogen to balance your body off. So a lot of times we taking all this stuff in our body to try to look a certain way and be something that we probably can't be because of genetics, and to look a certain way, and we hurt ourselves in the long run.
Right.
So when you just accept your own body type, accept yourself, and then be yourself, right?
Yes,
and then work and improve what you are right then and there, and you'll be okay. You'll be a lot happier, because then you're not comparing yourself to nobody else's body. You're going to see your own improvement. You're going to be happy from that.
Right.
And that'll keep you more motivated to stick with it.
Exactly. Accept your own and be yourself. It goes to the knowledge of self, of course, understanding who and what you are, studying yourself rather than looking out the window at everybody else trying to be like them.
Right.
When you weren't made to be like them, you were made to be you. Exactly. And find that fitness, or that your strengths, what your body is best designed to do. Because when you study even the athletes, you see people are built differently and perform differently.
Right.
You know I played football and basketball in high school, and it was always an overlap. So I would be late coming to basketball practice, coming out of football season. So I'm in football full blown, but when I get on the basketball court, it's a whole different shape. So it take me time to go from football shape to basketball shape. I used to be, struggling those first couple of weeks to get into that different kind of performance level. But thank you, beloved. The last part of the show, we just want to, talk about a few things. I don't know how much you heard at the beginning of the show. I know you didn't see the movie, but you're very familiar with stool pigeons, sellouts, and ops in general, knowing our history, understanding how the enemy works among us. Any thoughts on that topic? The current final call has the headline there, and as I tell the people all the time, we get that paper. If you don't have the digital subscription, make sure you see one of the brothers this week on the corner, out on the street. Get that paper; it's full of good information. But any thoughts on that? In general history, of course, Fred Hampton, but we have so many like him that the enemy has to assassinate and destroy.
It's crazy. I didn't see. I mean, yes, I saw it. I was thinking about it. I'm like, something we talked about. We have to set I believe we have to set examples, make examples out of people. And right now, we're not in the position to be able to make examples. Not Winnie Mandela type examples.
Right.
But we are able to make examples by shunning them, not supporting them.
Right.
Make an example how if you going on that side, you stand on that side. Because at the end of the day, history has shown us that they throw you back to the wolves anyway. They're going to throw you back here once they use you. Once they use you up, they're going to send you back to us after they expose you for what you are. So stool pigeons, sellouts, and ops. It's sad because when our condition, we'll all be looking because we all, we all, like you say, when we say Brother Abdul, I would say we all niggas trying to be Muslims, or but we're all affected from this society somehow, some way. Elijah Muhammad said he don't blame us for nothing. He put all it on the white man because of all of our problems started when we came here. So we can't keep, like I said, we can't look at everybody as like, oh, is he that, see that? But when we know what you are, once we know what you are, we have to deal with you accordingly, or we should, and it doesn't matter if that's my uncle, if that's my brother, if that's my cousin, if that's my husband, if that's my wife, and I think that's how we should deal with them, because we shouldn't keep having these situations, especially with those who are really trying to rise, really trying to fight for us in the righteous, man.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying, I heard you saying about snitching in the streets. I'm not saying that's because a lot of people misunderstand what snitching is.
Exactly.
Snitching is me and you go do something together.
Right.
And I tell on you to get out.
Right.
Or I'm doing something and I get caught, and I know you're doing something too because you didn't caught. You get to that old lady in the window telling you to stop and calling the police on you because you're in front of her house doing that. She's not snitching.
Exactly.
She's a civilian.
Exactly.
We don't understand what snitching is, and unfortunately, we've allowed too much, especially us as men. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's right.
It starts with us. And I understand it's hard because we gotta love our people. And it's really hard, but sometimes we gotta know when to differentiate. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this is unforgivable. You know what I'm saying? Because Fred Hampton, he's dead. Malcolm X is gone.
Right.
Dr. King is gone. So you got all these sellouts, Marcus Garvey. You know what I mean? So all of our leaders, they're gone, or because they can't get us without us.
Right.
That's the only way they can get us. So
yes, sir.
I think we need to start setting examples the way that we know until we're able to make better examples.
You mentioned Willie Mandela in South Africa. They were taking sellouts and ops and putting tires around them, setting those tires on fire. Yeah. Making examples. Because they fighting for liberation. When you fighting, you sell out the aspirations of a whole people. You sentencing my children, my grandchildren, and others to a life of suffering, poverty, and want if you kill the aspirations, or in this term, in this movie, a black messiah, somebody that could unite and electrify the masses of our people. And the enemy know what he's looking for. So he's going after anybody. And he's going to send ops, he's going to send sellouts amongst us, even in the midst of the gangs and the people that are so-called gangs and in the street. You got the same mindset. You got agents working for the government. It made you the same thing. You get in this movie, he got caught doing something. They threatened him with 5 years versus being in the street, and then they got him, and the Bible says, the fearful and the unbelieving will be in the lake of fire. We can't be so cowardly. If we do something and get caught, then you just suffer the consequences rather than selling out your people. Right. And to take a little weight off yourself, Yes, sir.
That's terrible because it's not saying like that. It wasn't even like they took somebody in your family.
Right.
It's not even like they had the child hostage. You couldn't do 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years, man. And he and that gentleman, from what I understand, I use the term loosely saying gentleman, but he was in the series, I think the Eyes on the Prize series, of one of them in the late 80s. And after that show, they interviewed him, because I think they showed the interview during the movie. In the beginning of the movie, they show the actual brother that sold out, and he's being interviewed. And they say after that he committed suicide, according to reports. I don't know if he committed suicide or something else happened to him, but he went on and talked about his choice to do what he did to the Black Panther movement there in Chicago with Fred Hampton. So, yeah, it's definitely a need for examples on many levels, but certainly when you deal with the aspirations of our people, you know.
Even if the loss of life isn't there, just the fact that you're trying to attempt, just the fact that you're trying to knock, you want to stop. And I try not to, make it so much, but it's like, if that if the government, if the government sent you in to try to do that, then this movement is good. Mm-hmm. Like if they sent you in, then they didn't say, well, listen, they sent you in because they're doing good things. They didn't send you in because, because
but they'll make us lies. They lied to us. But we've had people in our history in the nation who come in and get converted. They tell, and they actually admit that the government sent them in there, but they see that we're not what they say they are, and they actually get converted and get flipped. That's happened in recent years, in the last couple decades in the Nation of Islam, because the enemy's always working to overturn and stop our progress. And then we got the enemy, got the unpaid agent. We got the one that, and I talked about this a little last week, being a part of conspiracy and not know it. You have us working as agents against our own rise through our own mental sickness, whether it's locally and people trying to stop other people from doing good out of envy and jealousy. We got all kinds of agents. We got paid and unpaid agents working among us. But like you say, if they're doing something good, why would you want to see or stop somebody from doing a good work? Even if you don't necessarily agree all with it, if it's good for our people, why would you want to do something harmful to it or stop it?
Because if you're part of our people too, right? So if somebody's doing good for our people, they're doing good for you too. So I just can't get it, brother. But it's sad that and like you say, that even goes back to the breaking. Once we understand the full context of what happened to us, because a lot of people say, "Why are you stuck on slavery? Why are you stuck on slavery?" Because I understand that's the root of the problem. If you don't get to the root of the problem is going to keep manifesting.
That's right.
Yeah, and even then, it's like we call people Uncle Tom, but really, Uncle Tom wasn't really the bad. He wasn't.
You understand the story, right?
Right, he wasn't what they make him out to be, and
right.
And so we don't really have a real in-depth knowledge of our history. We think that we just sell out and turncoats like that for no reason, but we was made like that too. We were made sellouts and turncoats, but
and that's something that people don't understand the depths of our illness when it comes to the psychological destruction that has taken place among us. So what gives us more tendency to be a sellout or to be somebody that's working against the rise of our own people is that mental sickness, that self-hatred, that love for our enemy. You know what I mean? That envy. So all these things that are operating in our people. So like you said, the Elijah Muhammad, in our case, he's holding us blameless. Certainly before we know the truth. You come to the Nation of Islam, we will ask your record, what you did. There's that slate is wiped clean before you know the knowledge of yourself and the knowledge of God and the knowledge of your enemy. If you don't know who your enemy is, then you will partner up with your enemy. Right now with this vaccine, we didn't do the Vaccine Chronicles today, but to line up and be a part of an experiment, you trust in somebody who has a track record of 400 years of experimentation, murder, injecting us with disease, letting us suffer. But now all of a sudden he changed. And I'm a trust you put a black doctor up there in front of me. They don't know no better. They blinded by the same madness, But yeah, man, we got a long way to go. But we already working. The Elijah Muhammad was brought into court. Was it him or the Savior? And they said, trying to save this people is like putting pants on the elephant.
Right.
I got one pants leg on already.
Right.
It's a big job. It's a difficult job. But God has already brought truth to expose the enemy and enlighten the minds of our people. And I thank you, brother, for what you're doing, not only in the work you're doing, because our health, as we said in the beginning, if you ain't got health, you ain't got nothing. And fitness and being able, to do this work. Right now, like I said, I can't get out there with the paper. I can't get out there and do nothing. It's killing me. But that's fit. That's being, I injured myself. Yeah, that's different than just regular. I got an injury, but just not being able to do. We get older, we wear out, we break down, we get these different diseases, we get these different maladies, and the more we understand and the more we know about this whole idea of health versus, that was a good point you highlighted. Health and fitness are not the same, and it's something we have to understand. And I appreciate what you've given us today. People are responding. Very, very enlightening, the program. And we gotta work to get it to where you can, come in and do something specific on one topic and really stretch out and show what it is in that particular field that we can extract as much as possible. But along with that, your work in the community, your work to help bring people to the light of truth, it's not an easy job. And I don't know how long you've been in the ranks now.
But March 19th will make 9 years, brother. I say 9 years. Nine's the number of completion, brother.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah.
And like I say, but I thank you for having me on, and for your service. They say, brother, that travel you do, brother, you gotta be dedicated. You gotta be dedicated to travel. I gotta get up there, but it's like I'm dreading that drive. That's a nice drive, and to do it sometimes multiple times. That's a like I say, that speaks volumes, and
praise Allah.
And,
just in 9 years, watching you grow and develop has been, seeing the growth. I'm very proud. It's in all aspects, and to see you in your business and with your family, your wife was on. She put up the Bootsy thing up there, and the name for you. To see you growing as a father and a husband, it's what life is all about. It's what our teaching is all about.
Yes,
so may God continue to bless you in all your endeavors. Keep you and your family in good health and spirits, and get with Supreme Fitness. Follow it on Facebook. Look for the Instagram. Go on Boots. What is it? Bootsy.
It's an app. Bootsy is an app.
It's an app. Bootsy.
Yeah.
So that's an app.
Yes, sir.
So you can find our brother on Bootsy at Elijah Whitaker. And just keep and just to throw another shout out there, you got is it sous chef, right? Sous chef.
Oh yeah, yes sir.
The other day, I got to get some more cookies. I don't know. I don't need them, but I got to reload. She in her baking business. So praise be to Allah, brother. Thank you very much. Anything you want to say closing out before we ready to wrap up on any topic? It don't have to be fitness.
Topic, like I say, brother, I thank you for having me on. Honest truth, but I prepare. My wife would tell you I was trying to bring up slides and everything. I say, Elijah, I think I'm going a little too crazy. But I appreciate you.
That's a good thing.
Nah, you're right. You can never be too prepared. But like you say, I appreciate you. Like say for 9 years, brother, I get to know you 9 years. One thing I say, you consistent, brother. You the same. You haven't changed, and even though as far as growth goes, like you say, you've helped me grow. I appreciate that a lot. In multiple ways, that's important. As far as growing in multiple ways, and I just thank Allah for giving me the eyes to see His man.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
That's it wasn't.
It's a Louis Farrakhan. Absolutely.
If it wasn't. And I don't. Sorry if I cut you off, but I say this to people because we talked about soldiering. I know I got into a lot of debates. Everybody from Chester probably know we debating a lot of people, but it's not the fact that it's about debate, but you know, when you have something that you love that you want to share with people, you know, you really try to get it to them. You know, and I know I got a motor mouth. My wife always tell me, but I got a motor mouth. You know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She just put something. I don't know if that's something in response to my wife's question. She said, "Look up cholegeneric or
oh yeah, she's a nurse.
That's right. That's right. I forgot.
I'm about to say my wife. She's a nurse. She be telling me, brother. She be telling me stuff. I be like, okay, that's right. But you know, certain things as far as aspect of how to build the body. But she tells me certain things. I be like, oh, that's like you are a nurse, you know, because we had started our family so soon, brother. You know, but I thank Allah for her. You know, she's perfect for me. You know.
She's to Allah, yes, sir. Yes, I got a power right there, health and
yes.
Double down on that thing there. Praise be to Allah. So thank you again, good brother. Inshallah, I'll see you soon. And inshallah, we'll have you back on in the near future. All right.
Yes, sir. Well, I enjoyed my time.
Yes, sir. Well, Islam. Praise be to Allah. So, brothers and sisters, we thank everyone again for tuning in to the Respect for Life broadcast. Hopefully, you got a lot out of what our brother had to share with us on health and fitness and understanding more about being in good shape and being able to perform, being able to be healthy so that we can enjoy life. You know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that, you know, if we're going to have heaven, we better start right now on the ground while we're still around. You know, and heaven is a state and condition of life that we can experience before we die. We don't have to wait. We can be in peace and contentment of mind, but you can't have peace and contentment of mind if you don't have good health, if you don't have fitness where you're able to move and be active and enjoy life. So we thank our good brother Elijah Kareem for what he shared with us. As we get ready to wrap up, make sure that you share the broadcast with your friends and family. Make sure that you follow cmpradio.net. Make sure we follow them on Facebook, follow on YouTube, follow on Instagram, because it's important that we get the word out, that we get the message out, and also that, you know, our brother and the radio station can begin to grow and develop in a manner that he desires, so that can serve the community even more than it's already serving the community. So make sure you do that. Follow the page, like the page, and let everybody know about cmpradio.net. Let them know about the Respect for Life broadcast. We want to change the world one mind at a time. We want to break through the ceiling of thought that limits us in our life. The scripture says a man is what he thinks in his heart. And if we can think differently, we can begin to act differently. And if we can begin to act differently, we can begin to develop habits. And if you can change your habits, you can change your life. You can change your condition in life and bring about whatever it is you desire in your life to bring you peace and contentment of mind. So no matter what the difficulty is, a few weeks ago, we talked about perseverance, to be able to stay the course, to be able to meet and overcome obstacles. And Brother Elijah mentioned part of health is mental, you know, it's social, you know, it's physical. It's not just a physical thing. It's all things combined, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in the book that we held up earlier, he talks about how to eat to live, but he says you can eat all the right foods at the right time and still get sick because you don't think right. And that's why we here at the Respect for Life broadcast, we start, and our mantra is prescribing the diameter of thought, describing what and how we think will determine the kind of life and quality of life we have. So thank you all for tuning in. May God continue to bless you and keep you healthy in this really trying time with the pandemic and everything else going on. Be safe. And remember, let's continue to work to change the world one mind at a time. We're signing off. God willing, we'll see you again next week on the Respect for Life broadcast. Peace. Assalamu alaikum.